everybody. It is Wednesday. Let's get this show on the road. Hey everybody, how we doing today? I have the appropriate hat on today. I am starting the day annoyed. And this is June 25th, 2025. It's the opener for EFP Live. That's how we usually do it. We usually do an opener that talks about we're going to be doing news and all this other things. I got two complaints. And they're not even TTRPG related today. They're just service industry related. And I don't mean service in just like restaurants and things like that. I mean services, and if you work in any service-based industry, your job is to provide hospitality and serve to somebody else. That could be from an auto mechanic to a hotel to a restaurant. You pick this job because you like to make people happy. I work in the service industry. I work in tabletop, but I work in the service industry as well. I have for 30 years and many different jobs over the years. And I would consider maintenance for homes to also be part of that service industry. You're providing a service to people. They're paying you to be there to repair something for them. In my case, we rent. And we pay to rent. And I work third shift a lot of times. I'm not in bed till 5. We have a dog and a cat at home. When I tell you these are the days I'm available, don't ask to come on the other days and then get mad that I am not awake. Don't come pounding on my door at 9 in the morning. Don't do that. That's not a good look. We pay to be here. And in turn, you help repair things. I feel like the service industry, a lot of people within it, have lost their fucking way. Like, guys, we're here to make people happy. I work in an industry of entertainment, and I work in an industry of service because my goal is to make sure that the other people are having a good time and that they don't have to worry about other things. You like to throw parties, soirees, whatever it may be that you use as a term. But I swear to God, if you knock on my door at 9 in the fucking morning again when I went to bed at 5, we're going to have words. Words. Second thing, I am tired of paying for services for a year to cut down on the monthly pay, and then to have that company pull the rug out, and I'll name this one. Peacock, you fucking greedy bitches. We're fucking paying you for no ads. And there's an extra service called the Plus service, which was $5.99 and then $6.70 something, on top of the yearly one we were doing for whatever it was, $60, $70, to not have commercials. And anyone who is halfway through their contract, which I'm 6 months in, you pull the Plus away so that we get ads. And then tell us we have to upgrade to $139 one a year, but at full cost. And we don't get any break from the money we've already paid. Fuck you, dude. I will just steal your fucking shit. I'm fucking done with this. Pay for cable to watch sports, pay for Hulu, pay for Netflix, pay for all those things. I'll just go back to using Plex full time. I don't fucking need you. All right. Rage is over. Just a little, not a good way to wake up today. On a good note, there is a new PDF we're going to look at today. We have the Knight of the Pious Hand from TPK Games. It's a new Shadowdark class. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to go over the Cartographer from me and maybe the Berserker. We don't have a ton of news today. Like, honestly, I was kind of surprised. Like, I was really digging through, and I wasn't seeing a lot in the news category. I mean, Darrington Press. Oh, there is a new thing. Let me pull this up. There is an update for a new class that we're gonna look at. But let me find this. How's everybody else? Is everybody else okay? Sorry, I had to get a little rage out. I'm a little fucking annoyed today, man. Really am. I respect those people who work days. I don't fucking scream at night at 2 in the fucking morning. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Motherfuckers. There is something new. Okay, hold on here.
Hey everybody, welcome to our little dev up.
So we got a 4-minute dev video to watch for Critical Role. Not Critical Role, for Darrington Press. That's the thing I forgot. Whew. I don't think it's just COVID. I think it's gone downhill just in general since the 2000s, mid-2000s. Need I mention the resort fiasco? Yeah, that's a different kind of fucking fiasco, though. This is just like, I'm giving the days a week that I'm available, that I'll be up by a certain time for them, and then they always ask on the 2 days and I'm not there. Or they show up and they knock on the door and the dog goes ape shit, and then they want to be able to come in when I'm not up. But I can't do that with Fiona. She's a fucking guard dog. Like, that's just not how life works. I'll be honest, I don't want you in my house unless I'm up. And I work from home and record. Like, they can't be downstairs banging while I'm doing this. You will hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work well for construction. If Jen was home with the dog as well, then maybe, but whatever. So let's start with news. Let's start with something happy here. Let's start with something happy, because I really don't want to be angry today. Like, I woke up like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So we got a bunch of news. So let's get into news here. Let me get my video ready for the day's episode. What's the Dragonbane one? I haven't had anything new from Dragonbane to look at in a while, or from Free League. I was hoping I had some new stuff to review for them. I love reviewing their stuff, but I haven't been able to. I haven't found anything. I haven't found anything new. Reorganizing this. We're going to hit on 4 topics today for news. 2 of them are really short. Really short. Just got to grab our stream episode bumper. So I thought there was an update to OBS today. I did not take that OBS, but for some reason it has sent me back to last time I was in here. You stupid. Wonderful program. Wonderful program. You're the best. You're the best program. I don't mean that, by the way, at all. That was sarcasm. All right, we're all ready here. So let's make sure everything's set up. Let me look at our work screen, and then we're gonna go into news, and then we're gonna go into reviews. I'm excited to see this. This is the first class for TPK Games. I really want to get into the review section of this, because it is the first time that they have put out a class for Shadowdark, which is cool. Make sure this works. Let me go back to info screen. Oh, man, I fucking nailed that again today. I'm My spacing. All right. All right, let's get this rolling here. I am going to record this segment because I do like to add some edits into this. I could clip it, but put the music down to about here. I don't want this song for the intro, though. I love White Bat stuff, but these last couple ones he's put out have been so poppy or like dystopian, like a level of dystopian. I just can't really use them for shows as background music. I enjoy like nostalgic synthwave, aggressive dark synth, 80s synth, no beat, synth playlist. He has so many good ones, but maybe he's compiling these. He might be compiling some of these into a new playlist. His horror synth is one of my favorites, though, that he's put out recently. This new one's good. From White Bat. All right, we'll use the Transcendence one. This is a good track. All right, I'm going to start recording. Put the ad up. You guys, I'll answer questions somewhat during this one, if there's any during the news. I like putting them on screen. So 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, this is EFP Live, June 25th. We're going to go over a little news today. There's not a ton, but there are some big things in this news. So I'm pretty excited about what we have to talk about today. But first and foremost, congrats, Dragonbane. You got 21 hours left to go. You're at 645,701 for your 2 new books. I know Arcand and Book of Magic are really being praised by a lot of the Dragonbane community, especially in Discord and Reddit. I am excited to get a hold of the Book of Magic. There's so many things in there that are so perfect for Athantia. I cannot wait. So everybody, if you're watching this live, there are 21 hours left. I know some people in the audience were not sure if they're going to back or what they're going to do. Obviously, as soon as I get a hold of these, I am going to do a live review for them. Like, I have to go over them, right? Like, we gotta go over and take a look at them. So, this is out now. Get your back in. You can back, I believe, per book, or you can back as a duo PDF. Just the duo PDF is pretty cost effective, everybody. It's not that bad. So you can just get the PDFs, or you can get the dual books, or you can go all in and get the dual special edition green books that you see here. So, congrats again to them. I'm excited for this. Take a look at it. It will be down in the show notes below. If you're live, go to Discord and just look up Dragonbane. On to something else. So, everyone knows I have an RPG talk show called Corpse Talk that watches this channel. And I am a big fan of Hot Ones. I think that Chris is an amazing interviewer. I think he does a great job. So there is a gentleman named Jeff Stormers that is going on the quest to make Hot Ones of RPG podcast. Apparently, Party of One reinvents itself as a nonfiction actual play. You know I like me a good talk show. I'm curious to see what this guy's going to do. I have not seen a lot of his work. So let's take a look at what's going on. We're not going to go through the whole question and answer. I will put a list down below for like where you can find his stuff. But if you're live, this is Jeff. I love games so much that one quote captures Jeff Stormers, the host and co-host of Party of One in a nutshell. So this is the gentleman from Party of One. It says, with over almost 500 episodes, Stormer has played to showcase more than 375 different games, a podcasting record that seems unbeatable. I mean, 375 games is a lot of different games. It really is. So apparently he is going to start a talk show, which I think is a great idea. He started referring to a nonfiction show in the vein of shows like Hot Ones, a celebrity interview series of Host by Sean Evans on YouTube, which we all know what that is. apparently he's going to go through and start doing this soon. I'm looking forward to it. Party in one. Excuse for him to get people to say, hey, you are a person that I admire and I would like to know. So he's going to start interviewing people. I really need to do more interviews of people who work in the industry. I know so many. It makes me want to kind of change some of my formats for some of my shows. Summer is just hard because summers I'm really busy. But I'm going to Gen Con solo this year. And I'm thinking about bringing a small single room of the dungeon for Corpse Talk. Bringing the miniature, and then I'm just going to use the necro molds and make the little miniatures for the guys that we're fighting. Print out the stats on the sheet, kind of like we did before. And maybe do some interviewing live at Gen Con, because I'm solo this year. I think that'd be kind of fun to do and put out. And I don't have to edit a lot the way I shoot that stuff. So congrats to Jeff, man. Looking forward to seeing what this is going to be. I hope we see it soon. With that, and talking about conventions, Origins is in Ohio, Columbus. They confirmed that there were 19K attendees in 2025. So that's a problem overall. I think it needs to be a little larger, but I guess last year was only 17, so they are in growth. Cons in general are growing. They have been doing better just since COVID's been out. Everyone was stir crazy. Some of the biggest ones in the world is SM, which is 204,000 people in 2024. Gen Con at 71,000. UK Expo at 42. PAX Unplugged approximates 30. For some reason, I don't think PAX ever gives true numbers. I don't remember what the reason is. They may not count, which I don't believe, but it is what it is. And then 19 is like above that small con. You're hitting that large con category still. 19,000 people on the spot is a lot. So good for Origins, man. I mean, I used to go to this all the time when I lived in Michigan. It's pretty cool to see that they are doing well. Gamma is a big part of that. They're the trade fair group kind of for tabletop RPGs. But 19K. Congrats. 50 years, man. That means they've been around as long as D&D. 1 year later, actually. 1 year later. I think D&D turns 51 this year or something like that, right? And then the next thing we got. This I have pulled up. We will watch this live. It's only 4 minutes and 51 seconds. I'm really interested to see what this is. The Daggerheart devs, the Void gets new play class test ancestries. Classes and ancestries. So you can go download them right now and submit your feedback and survey. I haven't downloaded them yet. I have no idea what they look like. Maybe we'll look at those on the live show. If you're watching the news section of this is for the news.
Welcome to our
Let's just go over to the actual video.
Hey everybody, welcome to our little dev update for the Void. We're going to talk about a little bit of what we're bringing you. I know you want to jump in.
We have a lot of cool things coming your way. So we have updates to the 2 classes we already put out on the Void. The fighter is now the brawler. I always get that backwards. Thank you for telling us. And then the warlock, we got a ton of feedback on the boons. We've now clarified a bunch of that language. Instead of choosing boons, you're now choosing spheres of influence. So you might have sold your soul to a god of love and war. And then when you act in line with their deific spheres of influence, then you can get a bonus, kind of like...
It is serving hands. It very is true.
We also bumped up some of the mechanics on favor.
Yeah, we rebalanced some of the ways in which you use favor. So, go play and tell us if
Be quiet.
It's working for you. The other exciting thing is that
I turned it up.
New classes. The first one is we're dropping the Witch.
You're just on delay.
Which is
The Vavitch.
Which is Sage and Dread, and we also.
It's because their audio is this quiet.
Which is Midnight and Blade, and so we're really excited for you to dive into.
Really
those.
quiet.
They've been in development for some time now. We of course we're brainstorming the entire time when we were making Daggerheart of what's going to go in the core set.
I mean, they're not mic'd. Well, they are mic'd. It just doesn't seem to be working.
Warlock, the Witch, the Assassin, and the
Brawler.
Thank you. But we're very excited for everybody to jump into those 4 classes.
I didn't realize he's like a red blonde.
We have Ancestries and Community.
Almost. Look at that. He's got that perfect brown. People get that dyed.
A new one called the Aetheris, which is sort of our answer to the Infernus.
Lumberjack
The
chic.
flip side of that, it is sort of a Hallows above influenced being. I don't know if you want to.
Ever want to play a murder angel? Playing a Theris.
I do. I want to play a murder angel.
Some kins.
It's called Stellar Blade.
Skykin and the Tykin. Those are like beings that are descended from elementals.
And then we have a gnome.
We finally have a gnome. People have been asking.
Yeah, their mix is just rough on this one.
Into the deep end there, more into the fantasy, sort of classic fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, I could jack it up more. Hold on.
And then we have a bunch of communities. We have Duneborn.
Thank you, Elise.
That sounds like Darcy.
Hearthborn, Warborn, Reborn. Reborn's my favorite one. It's kind of our answer to folks saying, like, what if my character doesn't remember their community? And
that's kind of cool.
Mechanics that kind of break the mechanics, kind of love story the mechanics. I'm really excited about the Reborn.
Yeah, we sort of a little bit of the boundaries of communities there. So,
I love the building.
We hope you all are enjoying.
I love the building blocks of. Yeah, I did a booster on it, Serving Hands. I'm glad it helped. I love the building blocks of Dragonbane as a GM, but also as a player. Like, it's 3 building blocks that are main to the story, integral to making your character. And the fact that they're so easy to do for a first-time person, just set the cards down. And as a designer, you know the areas you're designing. You can look at other things that have been made. You can pull out all of the like ancestries and look at them and go, man, did I design everything right by just having the cards in your hand? I never thought about how having an easy handhold manifestation of sections of your game makes it easier to design around. I never thought about it until I had Daggerheart in my hand. I play a lot of board games, play a lot of miniature games, but there's something about this that while I was really unsure about wanting cards at the table, between doing Dragon Sandbox, which I can explain more for people who are interested, and for running Dragonbane a couple times, I really like it.
The Void materials, I know that we're really excited to be able to get stuff out for you to see it.
Thank you to everybody who's been playtesting, who's been posting things in the Reddit, but in particular, everybody who has been sending us feedback forms.
Yes.
We have been reading them voraciously, and we need more.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to update. So know that if you had something that you gave us previously, continue to submit feedback because we're trying to get updates rolling out as quickly as possible, and
that's
also
cool.
We want to give you time.
Good. That's like video game a dev cycle.
So there are still things in the works there, and we just are so thankful to be able to have a community that wants to play stuff that we're making.
And please do us the honor of breaking this game. In particular, please playtest these new classes, the Ancestors communities at higher levels of play. I want to see your level 10 Warlock. I want to see your level 10 Witch, Assassin, Brawler, and mixed up with all these good communities.
Because that's the hard levels.
Is, of course, the hardest.
No one plays them, you can't balance them.
It's all the permutations to get to.
Every level is its own beast. So go jump in and.
Oh, we have updates to Dread. We updated some of Dread also.
What?
That's it. We updated some of Dread also.
What?
Yes, we did make some updates to the Dread domain. There are some cards that have been
Just
adjusted.
We have updates to Dread, just generally.
Just generally updates to Dread. It's my existential crisis. So anyway, go give us your feedback. You can go to daggerheart.com.
That's amazing.
Void.
Dread, I think, is their other game.
The
Jenga Tower, I think is what they're talking about.
All of your playtests. And otherwise, we will see you next time. Are there people?
Well, they need to get a little bit better mic, but there is updates to this. It looks like we can download them in the Void over here. And this is the playtest section for the Void. They have the Witch class that is out now, and they also have the Assassin class, new Ancestries, a Warlock class, and the Brawler class. This is their answer to the Monk, which this is really cool. So if anyone is interested in playtesting these, I will put links down below for everybody. We may look through these on the live stream as well. Time dependent, of course. So, news-wise, that is it I have for January 25th. The news is a simple one today. There wasn't a lot, but I'll take new Daggerheart news, man. I'll take the challenger. I'm rooting for the underdog. I like the game. I think it's great. I honestly think everyone should give it a playtest. I really do. I feel like everyone should be giving this game a little love and doing a little playthrough on things. Help the team make things better. As a group of people who are playing the games. I said June 25th. Did I say June? June 25th. June. I say January. Look, someone knocked on my door at 9 a.m. and woke me up. If you want to know what that's about, check out the earlier show. For everybody else, thank you for watching the news. It's a really quick one today. I didn't have a lot on it. If you are interested in more news, I take submissions in. You can do media at erikfrankhousepresents.com. If you're interested in giving me any new news to look over during the live shows, or over in our Discord, you can check that out as well. Links are down below. And if you have news that you want me to cover, or maybe if I find somebody in there that I could bring on to interview about news, I can do that as well. That's it from EFP Live. If you're here for the live show, stick around. For the rest of you, watch, listen, learn, be a better gamer. Go play some Daggerheart. All right, so that's our live piece. They're an underdog. You're not critical. If you are not D&D, you're an underdog. That's just the facts of it. You're an underdog. They just put it out. We don't know how it's going to last. We don't know. I mean, their beta was rough. People didn't like the game during beta. There was a lot of complaints about the game and how the beta was rolled out. We didn't know if they were going to be able to sustain it. They don't have an organized play community right now. They're still trying to build that stuff. Yes, they have Critical Role fronting it for their advertising, but they are an underdog still. Until you've been in the cycle for a year and actually your game is out and you've proven that it's doing well, you don't know. Even when Pathfinder 1 beta came out during Gen Con with the fall of D&D during 4th edition, that came out in a softback copy. I have 2 of them. That was beta. Those people, a lot of them left Wizards of the Coast team or Dungeons and Dragons magazine, and they were an underdog. This company did Candela Obscura, and it didn't do that well. It was not taken well by people. It got a lot of really bad reviews. I don't want to say it was review bomb because that's just negative, but it got some bad reviews. People didn't understand that it was their version of Blades in the Dark. But I will say, I think they're still an underdog until it's been a year. Now, are they doing really well right now? Fuck yes, they are. They're crushing. They're absolutely crushing. I think it's great. So, we do have some other fun stuff today to look over. We got a new class from TPK Games. We're going to go over and review the Knight of the Pious, I think, Pious Hand, I think is what it's called. We're going to go over that. I quickly just need to add a few notes into my note app here so that when I put this out, I have my show notes in order. I've been trying to really update the notes below all the time. I don't always do it, but I like to do it as I go. I'm excited about Jeff Stormer's new interview show, though. I want to know what that's going to be. I'm going to have to go do a little research. Sure, but Free League's been out for a while. You know what I mean? Like, Free League is a great company, but they were, at one point in time, they were also an underdog. They're doing really well now. I love Dragonbane. I switched my entire home setting of Thontia to Dragonbane. Like, I think it's like the 7th or 8th system that my home setting has been in. We've talked about that so many times on this show, but yeah. It was a speed bump. I don't think it was bad. I said that when it came out. I thought it was actually pretty good. I really, really did. So, yeah, I mean, undeserved controversy? Yeah, a little bit, I think so. I don't disagree. I'm interested in this, though, guys. This is cool, man. This is cool. I love that they call their playtesting site the Void. The Witch and the Assassin I'm very interested in because... Oh, thank you. Thank you, Noon. Or is it None? Noon? Noon. Has to be Noon, right? Noonie? Is it Noonie? Thank you. Yeah, Mythic Bastionlands is fantastic. Like I said before, I think Chris is one of the best designers on the market right now. I have a few that I really love as designers. Writing and designing is two different things, but as like a mechanics and system designer, I feel like Chris really understands himself when he's designing. Is it no one? Oh, it's no one. Oh, even better. Thank you. I think I like how everybody said it together. I think Chris just really gets himself, like he knows his design style, and it makes me happy to see designers really kind of break the mold with stuff. I say that terminology because when I owned a video game studio, our title or our moniker was break the mold one game at a time when I was doing video game stuff for Sunder Studios. No longer around. We got kind of screwed by the depression we had in the teens, and we lost our VC. But like our goal as a group of people who worked in video games and worked in tabletop and just numerous things over the years, we really wanted to kind of show that it's okay to not do what everyone else is doing. And the games right now in the video game industry are doing the best are the ones that aren't doing what everybody else is doing. They're not placating the masses. They are not bloating their budget. And in tabletop games, we're seeing that same thing. They are parallel kind of design philosophy. But we see things like Mythic Bastionland, which is a totally different style system. You got John Harper when he took Power by the Apocalypse in Dungeon World and really made it his own and added those back-end elements of the board gamey parts of it to how do you run a city. Those kind of things really made me happy to see in the 5e ocean we were swimming in. And I felt the same way about Pathfinder 1 when it took over the 3.5 and kind of made 3.7.5. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, people don't realize that Chris McDowell basically kicked off the minimal OSR framework that so many designers inspired by. 100% did. Yeah. So I have a question, and maybe you know this. If I ever have Chris on to interview for like Corpse Talk or something, Electric Bastionland reminds me a lot of the video game Transistor and Bastionland. So I don't know if he worked on that project or he was inspired by it or they're pulling from the same kind of source material. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, what would they... I don't know how he was involved because they're so different. Like, if no one's seen the game, video game, Bastionland, what about the video game? Or is it just Bastion? Just Bastion. Sorry, Bastion. Here, let me go over to it. So this is the video game Bastion. It was an isometric top-down. I loved this game. Gorgeous, right? Really good game if you've never played this. One of the best, honestly. And then he did Transistor. Inspired by. Then he did Transistor, which is like the sci-fi version of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wondered if he worked on the project or he consulted or something or just inspired by, right? Because then Transistor's like his Electric Bastionland, right? And now I really wish this company would go back and do a night version of it. I really want one. And I know Chris obviously did Into the Odd and stuff like that as well. But yeah, anyway, so it's just a cool thing to point out. But I kind of want to look at one of these. I'm going to go through the review first, and if we have time afterwards, then I think we'll look at the Daggerheart stuff. So today we're going to be going over Knight of the Pious Hand. This is from Thomas by TPK Games. This is a new Shadowdark class. It's 9 pages, which I love to see the larger set pieces, the larger classes. And the reason is, like, I've been doing a very similar thing. I have been making larger classes for Shadowdark. Not to not to like break the game, but just to give like that little step up to kind of advance the class design. Because I really like the roll tables to make it random. I really like that for your abilities. I like the only 10 levels, those kind of things. So I wanted to make sure I was kind of doing something that leveled it up. So Knight of the Pious Hand, this is the cover for it. An ancient knightly order dedicated to the slaying of undead. Not a paladin, is what I was told. This is not a paladin. It's more like Templar meets undead slayer. So I'm curious to see what this is like. Cool art on the front. And this is not Brian's design. Brian usually is one of the owner of the company, is also one of the lead designers for everything. But that is not the case for this today. So here, I want to pull up something else on the side. Give me 1 minute so that we can kind of back-to-back this. Because I want to compare it to what I have been doing. I've not seen this in totality. Like, I knew he was designing. He kind of gave me the word on it. But I don't know much about it yet. And I want to have mine up and see like how we're both using the 9 pages. So I like seeing how designers design in parallel. I believe a lot of designers that have been playing games for a while seem to think along the same tracks. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not. And I want to make sure that while I'm designing stuff, I'm keeping myself honest. So let me pull up a Breachers one. Which one should I use for this? I guess the Berserker is the best to look at for now because it's in PDF format. We aren't completed for the next one. And mine's 8 pages instead of 9. And that's cover to cover. And I think his is cover to cover as well. So I'm going to have this up on the side so we can just kind of compare them as we go through, okay? All right. Let's see what we get here. I am gonna record this, but I'm gonna do it afterwards. Right now, like I always do, we're just gonna do a scroll through, look over it casually as an audience, see what we like and don't like about it. I'm using Sterling PDF Viewer today. That's why you see all this stuff on the screen. We're gonna try it a little. I've been enjoying it. I do wish I had a multiple tab version, but it has done me right. Unlike Adobe Acrobat. I see you, Adobe Acrobat, you sons of bitches. It just crashed on me again the other day. Let me adjust the volume in here. How's the music for you guys? Because I know this track gets a little wild. I want to keep it around like 40 on the thing. I usually put it at like 25%. How is that? So I want it synced up right before I go live with the recording. So Shadowdark RPG, designed for use of Shadowdark. He's got a piece here to see all their accessories. If you don't know Total Party Kill Games, they have amazing dice from all over the place. So if you're interested in other products, we've done an entire live stream with them, right? But they have coffee now with bones? I didn't know that. That's cool. What the fuck is this, bro? What? Ah, he's selling Bones coffee too. All right, I see you. I had no idea. But his dice are really cool. The metal ones, they're RPGs. They have a huge library. I was their art director for this book here, Book of Monsters Might. Amazing 5e book if you want like just a bunch of fucking cool options. Creaturecraft Ghouls, that's out now. That's for 5e. So you can see they have just quite the library here, right? And then if you go into their, we go back here, their dice, there are some really cool dice in here. Like that's where I got the ones that we use for the pink ones and the blue ones that I got that have the skulls on them. This here. This is from a guy, I think he's in the US that makes them, and he bought some of those. I love them because they're big and they're easy to read on stream. I mean, they all have, every one of the high numbers have skulls on them, right? No, Brian's friends with Smuggler's Coffee. Yeah, that's not a thing. So he's got like just some wild Pokeball ones, like everything under the sun, man. Really, some really kind of cool dice. And now he needs to change this part. This is hard to read, but there is more. If you hit load more, there's more of them. This too, this is super popular. This is a pink bag and a black bag. He sells them at cons, or you buy them, you get a random set of just a shit ton of dice, which I think is awesome. These purple green daggers of wind, banded silver rainbow ones. These are really nice. These are metal, but these look super cool. Like these banded metal styles, really cool looking. So anyway, if you're, I think they should be called bearded silver rainbow dice. So check his stuff out if you're interested. A friend of mine owns a company. He's been at it forever, man, since PF1. Like, this guy has really been at it. He does this full time now. He has a full shipping thing from where he lives. Like, and they put out good products. So let's go back to the product. So I don't know Thomas Gino. I'm excited to meet him. I don't know him. Additional content from Brian Berg, editing from Brian Berg and Thomas, art from Phil Stone. I'll ask my boy Phil. Some art from Dean Spencer, layout from Eamon O'Day. Okay, cool. I love this kind of like block print in the background. We need to get a highlighter out. You know, I've never used a highlighter in here. What color do we want for a highlighter day? I usually do orange, but I don't see an orange, which is sad. Can I pick a color? There's no orange. Let's just test this green, see how good it is. Okay, I can take that. Oh, I like that it's not straight lines. Oh, that's kind of sexy. What if I make it thicker? Just curiosity. Look at that. Okay. Won me over that. That's for fucking sure. Alright, so we'll keep the highlighter on. Do I have to keep this up to do it? I don't want to keep it up, though. That part I don't like. If I have to leave this up, that's a little fucking weird. I like just having the highlighter tool active. Is there no button for it? I don't particularly like that. Huh. Weird. Weird that I have to do it that way. That's weird to me. That's really weird to me. Night of the Pious Hand is an independent product published under the... So this is the Shadowdark licensing. So, I don't know why this big license thing is here. My understanding is the only thing you need to put is this. I should ask Brian about that, but my understanding for the license of this is that's the only thing you have to do. So, Night of the Pious Hand. Blood red moon leered over the land, a festering wound of the heavens. It's a crimson light spilled across the cracked earth and the dying trees, casting long shadows that twitched and crept like things best left dead. A lone armored figure stood in the threshold of an ancient cemetery, gazing at the rusting iron grate creaking slowly in the breeze. So this has got a nice little story start up. Night of the Pious Hand. I don't understand. I kind of question this piece. So this must be the first page for them. That's like, is this more story? Ah, it's more story. Oh, they got a 3-page story. A whole 3-page story. I didn't expect that. That's kind of cool. A little fiction to go with it. I thought about doing fiction, but I just didn't know if that's something that fit in Shadowdark. You know what I mean? I do love this, though. That's dope. Oh, actually, hold on. Because I can draw with this now? Yes. I love it. I love it. I love the heart. Okay. So here's this is right here is where it's going to start. It's very similar to mine. Like, this is the only thing I put in mine, right? But this is the start of my, like, welcome page instead of doing the fiction story. And then it goes into the class for the Berserker. So this is the traditional setup. It looks like he's following this traditional setup. So trained by the Order of the Pious Hand and single-minded in their desire to see undead put to final rest, their training has allowed them to tap into the divine magic of Saint Cthulhu to battle the darkness and bring rest to tortured souls. All melee, crossbows, okay? All melee and crossbows. I feel like that's what clerics get as well. Hold on. I'm gonna look. I think clerics get the same thing as that. Or priests. Priests get club, crossbow, dagger, mace, longsword, and staff. Fighter gets all weapons. Okay. Thief gets club, crossbow, dagger, short sword, and short bow. And wizard gets dagger and staff. So this is more close to the St. Idris, I think. I think we found a new love story. What, you mean this? Oh. So, all armor and shield, so they're tanky. They get a D8 hit points per level, and they get celestial as an extra language. They really shortened this too, because the verbiage in this book or in the Cursed Scrolls is it says celestial, diabolic, primordial, but then there's ones that's like I think it's 2 additional rare languages. Let me find the wizard. 2 additional common language and 2 rare languages. So they kept it short. Celestial. Nice and short. So let's get into the mechanics. The Strike of St. Cthulhu, you get a +1 bonus to your damage rolls versus undead. In addition, add half your level to the damage roll rounded down. Well, I mean, that's like Smite versus undead. They get spellcasting. You can cast priest spells Each time you gain a level, choose a new priest spell to learn according to the spell's known table. Use your wisdom to cast priest spells. The DC is 10 plus the tier list. If you fail a spell casting check, you can't cast that spell again until you rest again. Okay, so you got to do a rest. All right, good. A natural one will require penance before the spell can be cast again. Oh, that's cool. Penance is I think also in the regular one, is made by donating gold to the Order of the Pious Hand, equal to 10 times the tier of spell. I love this. I like this a lot. This is really cool looking here. I love this drip that comes down. That's fucking dope. I'm a big fan of that kind of grungy look that they're adding. So it does show them. That's cool. I wish I could just have the highlighter on though, man. I don't want to look at this box. Can you see the box on screen? Yeah, you can. That's what I thought. I wonder if there's a way for me to do it with the boxes and all. What are the tools? Damn it. There's not. Even if you do draw, it does the same thing. Like, I should be able to click to it and not have this on. That's super cool. Known spells. Oh, they even did like a color fade, it looks like. Am I seeing this right, you guys? Does this look like it's color faded? Right? Like that's a red. This is kind of red. Make sure it's not the screen. No, it's this. So spells per level. So you don't get your first level spell until level 3. So this is your first. That's your first spell level. I'm just going to highlight this. That's your first spell level. They repeat the use of the art from the cover, taking up half a page. Your titles, Level 1 to 2. Oh. I see it. And we're back. Little blurb from OBS there. OBS just went, ooh, disconnecting. But yeah, we should still be live. I have a couple design questions already. I've already sent these once, but this is going to be the difference of designers. I like these names, though. I love the Grey Warden. For all of my Dragon Age fans, that's awesome. Ooh, we get some new spells. What do we get here? New spells are always added. So I love new spells. So Detect Undead, Tier 1, Focus, Near. Yeah, I just paused for a second. You can sense the presence of undead within near range for the spell's duration. If you focus for 2 rounds, you can discern the number and type of undead. So it's undead detection. I feel like this feels a little like a 5e. Feels a little bit like a 5e spell. Like, did we got 5e brought over? Like, does everybody kind of agree with that? Like, here, let me green this. This feels like 5e. I wonder if they brought it over. You know what I mean? I'm curious. Invisible to undead. We've seen this. That's a 5e spell. You and your allies near distance become invisible to undead for a spell's duration. The spell ends if the individual attacks or casts a spell targeting the undead. So basically you got to walk in a group of near. Okay. This will allow you to just bypass undead. That's kind of cool. I see, like, this music gets so loud. Like, it's so loud, I can hear it. Consecrate. You strike the ground with your weapon, setting it out in a pulse of holy energy, making the ground holy for the spell's duration within near distance. This will prevent undead from being raised in the area, and undead will avoid it. Picking up a weapon will end the spell. Oh, ooh. Actually, this is fire. Yeah, they're good for you guys. Yeah, they're really low for me. That's why. I like this. The fact that you're leaving your weapon behind for this is really cool. And then the Order of the Pious Hand, Undead Rise, so this must be the back of the book. Shadow of the Corners of the World. So this is like this is the sales piece, right? The Shadow Corner of the World, where the dead claw their way from the shallow graves and vampires stalk the living. The light flickers, the Knights of the Pious Hand. This new class for Shadowdark RPG plunges deep into the heart of the relentless war against the horrors that lurk in the shadows. Arm yourself with ancient knowledge, sacred steel, and forgotten rites. Master abilities honed to shatter, animate bone, and dead shadows. Wield priest spells that sear the unholy flesh and your profane foes. So, like, you're a priest with some more combat power specifically aimed at you're an undead slayer. You're an undead slayer. It's good. I have some comments, though. I'm going to leave them for my recording. What is this selling for? Hold on here. Let me pull this up. Selling for $3.99. I want So in comparison, mine's the same price. And my thought was, in 8 pages, I needed to give more than just a class to justify the price point, because I want you to have more, right? So you get your welcome. It tells you how to introduce it, how to use it, even if you're going to use it in Shadowdark, because it's made for breachers. You have your class. I did break some rules. I wanted D12 hit points. They have Berserker Rage. When you're at half HP, you gain advantage on damage rolls. And playtesting so far, no matter what level you're at, that has worked really well because you get to half hit points pretty quickly. And it's advantage on damage rolls. Blood Rage, each time you lose 10 HP, you gain +1 cumulative to damage. So you're getting that. Your rage is building for the Blood Rage. Claving Swing is an ability that just always works because I want him to have something that always functions. And then the Weapon of Rage is one of those things that if you score a crit or take one, you gain advantage on attack, strength, and con rolls as long as you continue to make attacks. So it's a round-to-round ability. And you can also sacrifice your own blood to keep it going if you're fighting something that doesn't bleed. Gave them the talents. I like 2 and 12 to be special abilities. Custom art. Same as what they did. Your levels. Then I brought new gear into the game. I really wanted to have more gear for people to have access to. So I made new gear because I feel like that makes me want to play the class. And then I put together a new mechanic called Claim Vengeance. And this comes from Kelsey's idea of the Vikings claim. No, it's not called claim. I think it's called omens. Is it omens? Oath. I think it's oath. So I did that. I did the contract table, like what you're doing, which is fulfillment, pick one, aftermath, this is what you get, so on and so forth. Fail, didn't pursue for 2 game sessions, you fail it, and this happens. On the back of my table, I put usable info. I made Shrines of Slaughter, which are usable pieces that you can use in your game. I wanted to give as much as I could for them to function. And mine are this says $2.99 on it. So mine are $3. Mine's not even $4. Mine's $3. So I was curious as design. So in this one, we're getting good cover art. We are getting a 3-page story, which is dope. It really does set the tone for what a Knight of the Pious Hand is, which I do enjoy. I mean, a skeleton, you know me. Knight of the Pious Hand, they get spell casting. This is just the same spell casting, but they're giving a new known spells tables. I don't think priests have known spell tables. I think priests and wizards just get spells and they have... Hold on here. I want to check this because I want to make sure I'm speaking correctly. You know what I'm saying? They do have a known spell table. Okay. What are their talents? Strike of St. Cthulhu increases by 1 point. +1 to melee or range attacks. +2 to strength, dexterity, con, and stat. +2 to wisdom stat or +1 to priest spellcasting. Choose a talent or 2 points to distribute. So this is the one comment I had, and he told me why they did it. I still don't agree. I feel that this is way too many stat bonuses. And I get that they're a melee class, a fighting class, and a casting class, but you are making them a one-man army by giving them strength, dex, or con, and a +2 to wisdom or spellcasting. I feel like it makes them lopsided really easily with some rolls. I mean, they get the best of everything. And it says +1 to melee or ranged. But they're only... I guess they get crossbows. I don't know, man. It seems really stat heavy. I would have to play this. And I think overall my biggest concern is this is going to, not concern. Your GM is going to have to tell you if there's going to be a lot of undead in the game, or they should be building around your class. You know what I mean? I mean, it's pretty. It's laid out well. It looks good. I love the art. I like that there's a story. That's a really cool touch. I like that we got 3 new spells. I would have loved an additional spell to fill this gap. Like, I would have made something to fill this space. What's up, AW? I would have filled this space with something. Personally. And I think I would have put something in the back of not enough ponies. Look at my friend. There's no ponies here. He maybe has a pony mount. Maybe he has a pony mount. You don't know. Let me shrink this, and I just saw it's cutting off the side. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's got pony mount. He's still good. He's not cutting it. It is cutting part of it. There we go. Yeah, it's good. I think back here, I would have loved a mechanic. I think this is repetitious. And I would have replaced this with, sadly, this isn't Mythic Bastionland. Yeah, is that a AW? There are ponies in Mythic Bastionland. So it's going to be an honest review. I sent this feedback to him before, some of it. Just like when he was telling me what he's building. And I'm standing by kind of what I think. The only character with a mount was Kelly, who blasted through the map. Dude, Kelly quickly realized if she uses the abilities of an item in Shadowdark, that she can cut through the fat. And she did. She really did. So I'm going to go back to this song. We're going to record this. I'm going to make a pretty quick... I just want like a 5-10 minute review for this. I'm not going to put a bumper in, because I don't have a bumper for this Pious class piece. But I do want to put this up as like a quick review. And I know I really want to start reviewing more people's work for like Shadowdark and for Shadowdark, for Dragonbane, and for Daggerheart. I think that's going to be some of the main things I'm doing. And then whatever game I'm running. So right now I'm running Mythic Bastionlands on Monday, so that's going to be the main one. So I'm going to start recording. So it's just going to be me. I'll put a blank slate over this. I just need a few moments of silence so I can put it in. I'll start the music. I can ramp it over top of it. Hey everybody, we're here today to talk about Knight of the Pious Hand from TPK Games. Brian's a good friend of mine. He asked me to take a look at this. It's a free copy, all that jazz, the shit you need to hear so you don't think that I'm being biased. I promise you, if you've watched any of my stuff, biased opinion towards friends and things like that, if I don't like something, is not something you're going to find on this channel. I'm pretty honest about what I do. I expect certain things or want certain things. And I try to look at everything through a designer's eyes. I look at things that way. And then I like to look at it as a buyer and GM and a player. That's kind of my optics when I'm going through and looking at a piece. So today we're going to look at a new class, the Knight of the Pious Hand. Thomas Gino wrote this for TPK Games. So we're going to jump over to the work table and take a look. The live show audience has already kind of glanced through this with me, but I didn't get my strong opinions. The PDF is already going to be highlighted. We'll go over the highlighted sections along with some final thoughts on what it is. Let's take a look. So, this is Knight of the Pious Hand. The art cover is from one of my favorites. Stone does amazing work. I like the concept and look of this. This is an undead slaying class. They aren't quite a knight. They aren't quite a paladin. They kind of fall in between. They kind of remind me of some old 2nd edition stuff. There was a Ravenloft book that came out. I can't remember. Morning something. They remind me of that character. So, written by Thomas, additional content from Brian, editing from Brian and Thomas, art from Phil Stone. Stone is an amazing artist. You've seen him stuff in Magic the Gathering, all over the place. He's done all the iconic classes we were building for TPK Games when I used to work here. There's a good group of people on here. Brian has been doing this for TPK Games for some time now. Some time. Few things that I noticed right out of the gate here. They have a nice piece. You can go to their website. If you've never seen Total Party Kill's website, I'll just put it up. They sell amazing dice, other accessories. They have coffee now, but honestly, their dice are amazing. And then in here, I'm going to self-promote. I help work on Monstrous Might. If you're interested in Monstrous Might, we have some really, really good rules in there for 5e, but enough of that. We're here to look over the class. He's got his legal. I didn't highlight this, and this is just a question I need to find out. I don't know if you need to have this. I feel like you are allowed to only put the part at the top. I really need to ask if you need to do this, because if not, this is a lot of space taken that you could have used for something else. And if we don't need this here, this could be an entire table, because as we know, Shadowdark loves to put tables in the front of the book to be used. Then they give us an actual real good 3-page story on what the Knight of the Pious Hand is all about. A full-on piece of fiction, which is great. I don't think I've seen full-on fiction in too many Shadowdark third-party products yet. Not yet. But this is I kind of like it. I think it's cool. So you get 3 pages of it. Obviously, I had to heart my skeleton. Someone killed my corpse talk hero. What's going on here? But this is a nice story. It gives you an idea of what you're getting ready to play. It lays the groundwork for the class that you're about ready to look at. Here's the Knight of the Pious Hand. Same format we're used to. Same thing you see in all the Shadowdark stuff, which is good. We've already been trained for Shadowdark. I'm glad they're keeping that kind of trained, hey, here's what we are about. Trained by the Order of the Pious Hand, a single-minded in their desire to see the undead put to final rest. The training has allowed them to tap into divine magic of St. Cthulhu, I think I'm saying that right, to battle the darkness and bring rest to the tortured souls. They get all melee weapons. They get crossbows, which is powerful. Like, all melee weapons is a lot, and crossbows. I've used this same style before, giving all the melee weapons to certain classes, but not other things. You can actually see that in my Berserker one. So I like that they did that. All armor, all shields. These are melee combatants with a little bit of range. D8 hit points. They get Celestial, obviously because they slay undead. They also know how to speak Celestial. We get our first ability. This is reminiscent of Smite and some Paladin classes, but specifically only versus undead. You get a +1 bonus to your damage rolls versus undead. In addition, add half your level to the damage bonus rounded down. Later on in the talents that we're going to look at below, you get more bonuses from this. And then they get spell casting. So this is a specific undead slayer that gets priest spells. So they're like a priest plus. Spell casting, though, doesn't start till later on, which we've seen this in some old editions of even 2nd edition, 3rd edition, and 5e. They're carrying that into Shadowdark to be able to give a melee class spell casting, but not making them too powerful. You gain priest spells. Each time you gain a level, you choose a new priest spell to learn according to the spells known table. You learn a spell, though, so you don't get them all. You learn them. You use your wisdom to cast 10 plus the spells tier, same as Shadowdark, and they have unnatural ones. Penance is required, and their penance. Tell me this isn't just a rich order of clergy. Hey everybody, you are going to be giving us 10 times the amount of money you have. This is what you're going to be spending. I need 10 times the level of the tier casted that you rolled a natural one on. It's the only way we can forgive you. It's the only way. I'm sorry. I laughed. When I first saw this scroll through, my eyes caught that line. My brain went, "Tithe to me, for though you have mistaken, you have casted spell wrong. Please pay patronage for your mistake." There's nothing more religious-y than that. Brian, good job. I like the pious hand wants their pious money. Or I should say, good job to Gino. So our talents, this talent table, worries me a little bit. It really does, but it's not that it's bad. It's a 2d6 table, a 2 and a 12. They added the 3 others in there instead of 2. We've seen a lot of designers do that, myself included. So 2 is the good one. Strike of St. Cthulhu bonus increases by 1. So that bonus that you're getting here will go up by 1, this section here, which is cool. At 3 to 6, you get a +1 to melee or range, depending on where your good stat is, because you're either a melee fighter or you're going to be a ranged crossbow fighter. You can choose what you want. And that's nice, because being a melee person, you really do need your strength and con. And if you don't have that, you can just have heavy armor and fight from range and cast spells, because you get spells. 7 to 9, you get a +2 to strength, dex, or con stat. So my only concern with this is the next one is +2 to wisdom or spell casting. I looked through this, and I've went through a lot of the Cursed Scroll stuff, and usually there's only one talent line, and it's usually the 10 to 11 that gives you stat bonuses. So if I flip through, this is just the core book I'm looking at in my hands right now. The fighter is +2 to strength, dex, con at 7 to 9. The priest gets a +1 to spell casting checks at 7 to 9. Or a +2 to strength or wisdom stat. And I get that they didn't want this to be the priest all over again. And when we get to the spells known, it already isn't. But I think this is too many chances to be powerful. Thief, 6 to 9. +2 to strength, dex, or charisma stat. And you can see she weights her tables based on the class. And then the wizard can get a +2 to intelligence on 3 to 7. And then after that, they get things like advantage on casting spells learn an additional wizard spell of a tier, things along those lines. So it's a very stat-heavy thing. In a game that doesn't have skills, this I would worry about. I would still allow it as a GM, because I honestly don't care. Play your class, have fun. You can always die in Shadowdark because hit points are so low. And then at 12, choose a talent or 2 points to distribute. So you got 1, 2, 3 areas that you're getting stats. That's my only questioning thing. But I love that they're giving them smite. I love that it's versus undead, that it's so specified. We haven't really seen a lot of really specific classes. When we go down to spells known, you don't start getting spells to level 3. We've seen this before. It's cool. And you're only really going to have 1 spell known. Now, remember how spell casting works in Shadowdark. You can keep casting that spell until you fail either to cast it or something bad happens and it gets taken away from you. But usually when you fail that roll to cast. So you're only going to have 1 spell. Is it going to be heal? Or are you going to take one of the new spells that they're providing in here as well? Which we'll get to shortly. None of the Pious Hand titles. I love these titles. I think that the lawful, neutral, and chaotic ones really nail this. I love that the neutral stuff reminds me of Dragon Age, the good Dragon Age, not the most recent one. The most recent one was Disney on Ice. If it was Dragon Age, like it was really bad. I finished it because I'm a fan of the series. Like a TV show. If you hate it, you still finish it. But you love the franchise, like, some of the seasons of Supernatural, or, let's be honest, the last season of Game of Thrones. But I like these a lot. You got your Grey Warden for the last one. I think that's really cool. I think that the Night Reaver title's cool. There's some really good ones in here. And then we get 3 new spells. At least new to Shadowdark. We get Detect Undead, where you can sense the presence of dead. If you can make the focus roll and get it off a second round. You can discern the number and type of undead. Really good at hunting, like maybe the most powerful out of a group if you're trying to find the leader. If it's a vampire and he's hiding amongst their thralls, I can see this be a really important spell. Invisibility to undead, if you have to go through a crypt to get to the mummy's lair to dissolve a curse, I could see him being really good at that for a story hook process, because this makes everybody in near invisible for 10 rounds. And then if you can get to a safe room, you could recast it again. Granted, the DC is going to be 12, but it's worth the risk, right? And then this Consecrate spell is dope. Consecrate's been around for numerous editions of games. Just games in general, right? But this is a tier 3. You strike the ground with your weapon, sending out a pulse of holy energy, making the ground holy for the spell's duration within near distance. This will prevent undead from being raised in this area, and undead will avoid it. Picking up the weapon will end the spell. So you can make a safe haven by putting your sword down or your crossbow, like shooting a bolt into the ground or whatever. Could you shoot a bolt into the ground? That'd be kind of cool. But you could cast it there, and in the last 8 hours, you could heal your company up. You could rest in the middle of undead warfare with a lich on the outside just clawing at it. Like this makes some really epic set pieces. I love this Consecrate spell. If nothing else, I would bring this spell into my games, even if the class wasn't part of that. I think this is really good. But I do wish that this space here was another spell. I feel like we could have bumped up some of this, right? And then made room for one more spell. This one's really short. It comes to here. Maybe verbiage could have been tightened, but I would have loved one more spell for this. And then the back of the book is the Order of the Pious Hand. It gives you a rundown of what it's for and what you'll find inside the cover. It's a good class. It's a solid class. If you're going to be fighting a lot of undead, doing tomb raiding, your GM tells you there's going to be a lot of undead, and you said, hey, I would love to play the Knight of the Pious Hand, that's perfect. So if you're playing an undead campaign, I think this is great. Have one of these. Really piss your GM off. Play 2 of these. So you can cycle that first level spell when you hit level 3, and that your smiting becomes really powerful, that bonus you get. I think that would be really good. You can find it right now on their website, and you can also find it on TT or Drive-Thru-RPG if that's where your library is. Obviously, if you want to support a publisher, pick it up from their website. They get a better cut. They're not getting ripped off by it. I recommend buying from their website. Like for me, it's through Patreon, or even Itch for me is a better cut. But for them, if you go to the TPK Games, I'll have that link down below where you can pick it up from their website and Drive-Thru-RPG as well. But let's talk about this class for a minute. What's my final thoughts on it? I like the class. I think that we got an undead slayer. I'm not going to call it a paladin. I think this is an undead slayer. This is something that is made to go out and get the job done and hunt it. I think if I was running something similar to Ravenloft, or if I was running a hex crawl in an undead land or a gigantic cemetery, this would be a great specific class to play. This is a niche class. I do wish we got some gear in here. I think some new gear, some new magical items, another page for $3.99 would have been a really nice ad. I would like to have seen his version of a Holy Avenger or an undead slaying mace of some form. I think that stuff would be nice because, in my opinion, Shadowdark as a whole right now is missing magical items. We don't have a magical item compendium. And for classes, I feel like gear or magical items should kind of come with it. For $3.99, it's a great class. You get some new spells. You get a spell casting fighter. It's basically a priest that really knows how to handle their own. And that Consecrate spell is fire. So if you want to support TPK Games, they have a lot more Shadowdark stuff on the horizon coming out. I will be looking through them as they do come out. And if you are somebody who is producing Shadowdark material, and you'd like to have me go through it on EFP, check over at media@erikfrankhousepresents.com. Send me an email, and let's see if we can't line up a review for you. That's it today for this review of the Pious Hand from TPK Games. Look, go pick it up. There's no reason not to. It costs less than a Starbucks coffee, everybody. Like, support developers that you enjoy so that you can keep seeing them make stuff. You can find it over on their site for $3.99 as well. It's a good class. I just want a little more out of a class. I don't have a problem with the price point. I just want more with it. But for $3.99, McDonald's fries cost more than that right now. So I'm gonna end that recording. We'll put that out later. I'm just gonna trim it, put some stuff in. It's a good class. I just like on Drive-Thru-RPG. Let me go to Drive-Thru-RPG here, everybody. Where are we at? Where's Drive-Thru? I just want to look up Shadowdark stuff. I want to look at the trend for Shadowdark things right now. So we have $21 for Shadow Crawlers, black regenerated. Is this from Menagerie? Yeah. We have a free one for this class. This is their Berserker. I obviously looked at this as reference. Mine is nothing like this. He puts out a lot of $0 ones for people to pick up. They're like nice one sheet, black and white. You can just add. That's cool. Tomb of the Hunters. That as well is pretty cool. The Pits of Brund, I have not looked at from Menagerie, but Menagerie is just literally filling the drive-through RPG market right now. And I believe they're doing this by putting out things that cost money and then putting out numerous free ones and just pumping out stuff over and over so that when you type in Shadowdark, it comes up. Like, look at this. So now we're finally through Menagerie. We're in a Monster Mage, Jeremy Hart, that kind of stuff. And then we get down to, I recognize this art. More Menagerie. Look at this. So much stuff for Shadowdark right now. So much stuff for Shadowdark. I don't even know what page mine shows up on because it's so new. And mine doesn't have Shadowdark in the title. Mine has Shadowdark in the descriptor. And I might have to change my title to say for Shadowdark. Like looking at this right now. Look at this. Jesus, people. So much stuff for Shadowdark already. This is just, I mean, it's good. It's a healthy economy. Philip Reed just put all that stuff as well. We haven't seen. That's different. You don't see this kind of art for this stuff very often. Yeah, I think because mine does not have for Shadowdark in the title, it's not going to pull up. As all of these, I think this one doesn't. It doesn't have it. It might be based on sales as well. So here's mine finally. So there's that's my Breacher's Berserker class, right? Oh, I did put Force Shadowdark on mine. So I bet you Breacher's is on the next page then. No? Ooh, it's not. I gotta dig. I need to figure out how their internal SEO works. Like how their internal structure for what gets put near the top functions. And now with Daggerheart being able to have things put out for it, more stuff from Menagerie Press too, Jesus. Menagerie Press really puts out a lot of stuff. I'm just going through it. I want to see how many pages there are. I mean, I could just flip the last one, but I want to scroll through them. Oh, I like this. I don't know if it's any good, but I love this design. These just faces is really smart. Really smart. The Worm Witch, the Jaguar Princess, the Sunshine 2. This is cool. That's got cool marketing strategy. I don't know anything about if it's good or quality or anything, but that's a really cool marketing strategy. I like these old school ones. Chris Powell does good work. And if you own any of these things, you should be leaving reviews, guys. You should be leaving a review in there. Like, I'm going to leave one for the pious, but you should leave reviews for me. This is actually a really good book. I have this. This is huge. This is an entire setting. Really cool book. I mean, I haven't seen Breachers yet. Makes me wonder if it's not showing up in the Shadowdark search. I mean, I've sold on here. Like, I know it sells on here. People must be finding it from direct links if they're not finding it when they search. I know when you type Breachers in, it pulls. There we go. If you guys have it through drive-through, review it, please. Put some stars down, baby. My goal when I did this logo was to make it stand out in the muck. Hey, look at, there's yours, Nick. Look at that. You're all over it. I always come back and try to look at what my stuff looks like. Because if you click and go in, I had so many problems trying to get the fucking preview to work. Just trying to get this preview to work. Because I uploaded it, it's like, no. It's like, what do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? Which is cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, I'll have to fix that after the show here. But so this is TBK Games' new thing. So before, I got a couple minutes here. And before we close out the show, so that's the pious hand. Well, actually, let me put a link in here for everybody. Hold on. For those who are interested in helping support Brian and his company and this new piece, let me put this in the chat for you all. Right? That's directly to their website. You can find it also on DriveThru. That's where your library is. Not telling you where to get it. 3-page story. I almost feel like he could have cut one page out of this to give us gear. Cut a page out of the story, out of the fiction. But which class do we want to look at? I kind of want to look at one of these new classes before I go today. Do you want to look at the assassin class? Do you want to look at the witch class? They updated the brawler. I want to look at the assassin, I think. This is their character sheet. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's not abilities. Here's their cards. Here's their abilities. So, Executioner's Guild Foundation, spellcast trait Finesse. First strike, the first successful attack you make during a scene deals double damage. Ooh. Ooh. Your ambush feature uses D8s instead of D6s. Nice. Or you can get specialization. Oh, this is their ability. So you get foundation to start. Their specialization is, that's what you get at tier 2. Death Strike. When you deal severe damage to a creature, they must mark an extra hit point. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Scorpion's Poise, you get a +2 bonus to your evasion against those attacks made by the creature. Most recent dealt damage. All right. Yeah, Zap. It is. That's really cool. Executioner's Guild Mastery. True Strike. Once per long rest, you can mark a stress to change an attack roll you make from a failure into a success with hope. Once per long rest. So you can... That's like resituating your failure to win as an assassin, because it's like your prep. You are a prepared person. Surprise attack reaction roll triggered by your ambush feature increases from D10 plus your level to 13 plus your level. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Then there's the Poisoner's Guild. Oh, so there's different... Oh, this is the other one. Ooh, I love me a good poisoner in a game, everybody. I really do. And for like those who are trying to figure out what this is when you pick your class, because they don't have pages laid out. So like if we hold on here. If we go back to here, they don't have like the pages in here. It's just the base class. I don't think we're gonna see anything other than these, right? Because they have their 2 domains that they get as well, and these are like their class pieces. So, because there's the 2 routes that you take for your subclass. So, spellcast trait, Presence. So they use Presence when they're spellcasting. Toxic Concoctions mark a stress to add 1d4 plus 1 tokens to this card. Little Magic the Gathering right there. You know these poisons. Gorgon's Root. The target's difficulty gains a permanent -1 penalty. This can only affect them once. So you can lower the difficulty to do things against them by 1. Would that be all things? Target's difficulty gains a permanent -1 penalty. How long is this going to last? Okay. Grave Spore. The target must mark a stress. That's cool. Lichweed. Gain a d6 bonus to damage on this attack. Lichweed, gain a d6 bonus. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's Presence without opening... Hold on a minute. Let me open Daggerheart here. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Let me see here. Daggerheart core rule book. So let me go here. Let me go to this. We're just going to go to table of contents, and we're going to fit it to page. And then I want to look at stats for each class. Because I'm wondering if they're trying to fill a gap. You know what I mean? Like, if one of these doesn't have... Does it tell you what their base thing is? Where would it be here? Presence. So Bard is Presence. Maybe it's because they're supposed to be intimidating. Like, scary. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're supposed to be scary, though, because they're poisoners. Instinct. I'm guessing that's what it is. I think it's supposed to be that they're frightening. Gain d6 bonus to damage on the attack. On a successful weapon attack, you can spend a token from this card to afflict the target with a known poison effect. So this is your foundation. You get d4 plus 1 tokens to this card. When does this refresh, is my question. When do you have to... Are you rolling to cast this? Is that what's going on? Yeah, because I think they want you to keep your core stat for what is the most... I don't think they can't do that, though. Because their core design is you want to keep them around what their stat is for the overall concept for class. I think they're supposed to be scary, so it's presence, just like a bard. Like a bard uses maestro in them, they use presence because they're singing to people. I think that's the thought behind it. I mean, obviously I didn't design it. Like, what is druid fall under again? Instinct, yeah, okay. And then I wanted to see, where's the other class here? Guardian, if I remember correctly, is based on your, is it con? Or not con, but whatever they called theirs. Well, they don't even have one. Huh. I don't know. I mean, it's a different design, I guess. Like, I don't really have a rhyme or reason for care on that. I just want to know when it refreshes. Because it doesn't have the artist name or anything on it yet. I just don't know when it refreshes. Is it every day? Is it every rest? Probably every rest, right? Like everything else. Or can you just use it over and over and over again and put D4 on it? Because you're marking a stress. I bet you just mark a stress and you just make more concoctions. I think that's what it is. Man, that seems strong to me. Because, like, look, if we roll a D4 in chat, right? We're gonna add 1 to this. So a 2. Prime example of sucking, right? So 2. That means that we could do an attack that is -1 penalty, and then we could do an attack that is a D6 bonus to damage on their attack. That's strong. Anyway, let's see what the specialization is. You also know these poisons. You get Midnight's Veil. The target gains a permanent -2 penalty to attack roll. This can only affect them once. Ghost Petal, permanent decrease to damage dice of the target's standard attack by 1 step. Ooh, you down their step. Okay, cool. You're immune to poisons and other toxins, so you don't get immune till later on. And on a successful weapon attack, you can spend a token from this card to afflict the target with a known poison effect. Okay. I like the stacking so far. I like the new poisons that you're getting. It's like mini spells. And everything in this game, we got to remember it's high fantasy. We have to remember this game is high fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is made to be over the top, right? So we kind of got to keep that in mind as we're looking at this. And then for mastery, which is in the tier 3 category, you know these poisons. Blight Seed. The target gains a permanent -3 penalty to their damage thresholds. They can only affect them once. Fear Leaf. The damage from this attack gains a bonus equal to the result of the fear die. Twin Fang. You gain, when you afflict a target with a known poison effect, you can spend an additional token to inflict the effect of a second known poison. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can mix your poisons. I don't hate this. I like the abilities. And when I'm saying tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, right? And that's when you start getting your different things. Do they tell you on here when you get your specialization? I gotta fix the audio on this. This is really loud on my end. Hold on a minute. I'll turn it up on your guys' end. Like, this feels good, but I wish, like, the fact that they have these 3 tiers, Foundation, Specialization, Mastery, does it say on here? I know that you start with your Foundation, you get your Specialization at 3, and get your Mastery at 4. I just kind of wish it said it in the boxes somewhere, and I don't see it. And my understanding when I read was multi-class, choose an additional class for your character, then cross out an unused, take an upgrade class card, and then, so it's this part here, I think. Pretty cool. Good background questions. What organization trained you in the art of killing? Like, I like the questions, I like the connections. This is cool. It's good. It's a good start. It's a good start. Let's quickly look at the witch then. I want to see what the witch has to offer. I love me a good witch. How did you first discover your affinity for the magical craft? You once used the power to help someone in a dire situation. Who were they and why did they come to you? All right. What's their... Ooh, I already like the color. A little jokery color out here, right? So they get instinct, herbal remedies. When you take a downtime action that requires rolling, you can roll twice and take the high result. That's nice. You heal yourself better, things like that. That's actually... That is a clutch ability. Tethered Talisman, once per rest. During a moment of peace, you can enchant a small object and give it to an ally to tether to them. While a tethered ally holds this object, when they are hit by an attack, you can expend the magic in the totem to deal 1 hit point to the attacker. Now, I know 1 hit point doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to remember, in Daggerheart, your hit points are much, much lower. So being able to strike them back by shattering like a tethered voodoo doll, essentially, that's pretty cool. I bet you we'll see some other uses for that as we go through the hedge version. Specialization. Make a spell cast roll 13 in an area containing 1 or more dead bodies. Okay. On a success, you can watch the last few moments leading to their death and bring the surrounding of the past life into spectral form. You can mark a stress during this spell also to hear the sounds that they were made during this moment of this time. On a failure, the bodies turn to dust. Well, that's kind of... You see, like, you Batman. I was just talking about this with somebody. You Batman. You bring it all to life. You see what happened in those last moments. I kind of wish... So that's forever. It's just their last few moments, period. You're seeing how they die. That's cool. It's timeless then. I actually like that a lot. Enhance Augury. Increase the amount of dice you roll for the commune feature to 6d6. Where is this commune ability? Did I miss that? Up here. Oh, I missed it. I didn't look at this in the... Oh, hold on here, everybody. I did not look at this. I'm a dummy. I didn't realize that's where we put it. Ambush, here it is. We're going back to the assassin quick. Ambush, when you move into melee and make a weapon attack, you mark a stress to force a target to make a reaction. Roll the difficulty of 10 plus your level. On failure, increase the damage of your attack by d6, so you are feinting and stabbing and stuff like that. Awesome. Ambushing. Get in and out. Spend a hope to ask the GM for either a quick or inconspicuous way out of a building or structure you can see. The next roll you make capitalize it. This is amazing. That might be the coolest way I have seen for a player to be able to take agency in a scene by asking the GM for something their class needs. That is awesome. Granted, you're leaving your group high and dry. For the witch... I'm sorry. I had to say it. For the witch, the creature causes you or an ally within close range to mark any number of hit points. You can mark a stress to hex them. While they are hexed, they gain a penalty to their damage thresholds equal to your spellcasting trait and penalty to the difficulty equal to your tier. You can only have 1 target hex at a time. Commune. During a long rest, you can commune with an entity, an ancestor, deity, spirit, aspect of nature. So whatever type of witch you are. Ask them a question, then roll 4d6. If any of the dice have matching values, reference the chart below for the effect. There are multiple matches, you get more than one. Oh, that's a really cool kind of reading bones feel. Ooh. That's smart design, Daggerheart. That's solid. Rolling 46 and casting them bones and seeing what you get. 6, you witness relevant scene play out. 5, you see a vision relevant to the answer. 4, you hear sounds of relevant to the answer. 3, you feel a sensation relevant to the answer. 2 is a smell or odor relevant. And then 1 is you taste the flavor relevant. That is fucking amazing. That is the coolest thing I've seen so far in this game system. I think that might be my favorite ability. My God, that is smart. That's really smart. And elegant. It's an elegant solution to be creepy. Cool. All right, so now that we know what the commune is, we know instead of 46, you get 66. You become better at reading them bones. Circle of or baby teeth, if you're in one of my other games. Circle of power, once per rest, mark a circle on the ground up to very close range and place a number of tokens equal to your specialist trait on this card. Each time you make an action roll or a hit with an attack, remove a token. The spell lasts until you've spent your last token or you step out of the circle. Okay. You gain +4 bonus to your damage threshold, +2 bonus to your attack rolls, +1 bonus to your evasion. So you make like a hedge circle. That's pretty cool. You can use that to sleep. That's awesome. Huh. All right. Then the next one is Moon. This is the other version of the Witch. Night Watcher. When you are in Moonlight, you have a +1 bonus to your spellcast rolls. And you have Ear of Pale Light. When a creature within far range that you have cursed with your hex fails an attack roll, they must mark a stress. So you're doing stress damage. It's like the Evil Eye kind of feel from other games. Then Moon Specialization. Moon Glow. Mark a stress to glamour yourself and create a magical facade over your form. Glamour automatically drops the next time you take damage or at the next rest. While glamored, you can take the form of a creature of your appropriate size that you've seen. You can play somebody else. Enhance your own appearance. Gain advantage on presence rolls that leverage this change to purpose. Okay, cool. A little more on the role play aspect of things for the second part here. And then the last one is the lunar phases. During a long rest, instead of communing, you can roll your commune dice to alter your form. If any dice have matching values, reference the chart below for the effect. If you have multiple matches, choose one. If none match, choose a different downtime action. The effect lasts until your next rest. 5 to 6 Eclipse. Gain a +1 bonus to your evasion. 2s to 4s. Waxing. Gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls. And then 1 to 2 Waning. You can always spend a hope to reduce minor damage to none. You can't do that normally. You always have to take the hit. Unless you like, I think Guardian gets one where they can use a armor to block even minor. That's cool. So you can commune or do this. Huh. That's a pretty cool class. We got some new spells in here. Blighted Strike, Voice of Dread, Umbral Veil, Hideous Retribution, Siphon Essence, Terrify, Shared Trauma, Withering Affliction, Summon Horror, Spectral Mist, Dire Strike, the Nether Flames, Wailing Leap, Dread Touch, Wall of Hunger, Dark Army. Ooh, yes. Yes. You summon a group of 8 fiends within close range for marking a stress. That's actually a really cool concept. Eldritch Flesh, Damnation, and then the last ones are Survivor or Savior of Anguish, Invoke Torment, and Altar of Malice. Fucking thank you for making more. What domains are these part of? What domains is this? So domains after the classes here. I always forget. Let's just go to the table of contents. Shrink that down. Where is it? I just want the domains chart. Is the Skull's a new one? Skull's new. Oh, did you notice they highlight, by the way? So the Skull must be a witch domain. Is that what I'm seeing? Does this just mean witch? What domain is this? What is this called? Do we know? Let's go up here. It should say at the top, Dread and Sage. Dread and Sage. And neither one of those are in here. So those are 2 new domains. Yeah, so those classes share Dread. I love that they're adding more domains. My question is, are they going to keep updating this? How's that going to work? Are the new classes going to go on the outside of this imagery? And more circles? Like, are they going to bump the cosmos in? How are they going to keep using this? Huh. Well, I got to say, that witch one, the casting the fucking dice to do that's really cool. Really, really cool. So that's it for me today. A couple reminders for everybody. One, unfortunately, unless it pours tomorrow, there will not be a Breachers tomorrow because I'll be at work. I might instead do it on Friday for us. I would like to still do it. So I might do it on Friday instead. We'll see how everything goes. Tomorrow I go in at 3:30, so I got to prep and do everything, and our show usually starts at 3:30. So I might move it to Friday instead for us. Other than that, if you are looking to support the channel, like always, we just hit 500 as of, I think, today. Finally, we got to our 500. I'm going to put in for that as well. But also, and I thank you to everybody, because I've been trying to get that forever. Like, literally forever, trying to get us to that 500 this year. And it's been a really good couple of months seeing growth and people actually responding and commenting and doing all the things that you know, I want. Let me take this over to here, and I'm gonna play. I think I have this for our thank you. I just want to say thank you to all my patrons. My Patreon has been going strong. You get copies of any PDFs that I put out, which is super cool. If you're interested in supporting in any way, you can sign over on our Patreon. There are links all over the show notes and things like that. On top of that, Breachers is out along with the Berserker class. So if you're interested in the Berserker class, you can pick that up as well. So that's it for me today. I will be back hopefully on Friday. If not, I will be in my Discord on and off today and tomorrow. I am finishing the Cartographer class up along with the new Sojourn rules, which will go out to my patrons here at the end of the month. Have a great day, everyone. Watch, listen, learn, be a better gamer, and man, go play some Mythic Bastionland, some Daggerheart. Go support your favorite designer today. Talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. Well,